this island, you can see something that reminds you of World War II and the pain that we went through during the Japanese occupation.
You have these nightmares of seeing dead bodies and all crying out for help, and there's nothing they can do. This is the nightmares I have every night.
There was a huge sense of gratitude when the Americans rescued us. The problem is what the Americans did with that gratitude.
The military took our land. We were driven out from this property.
Property that have been living for hundreds of years.
I guess the war is not over yet for us.
This important bulletin from the United Press. Flash, the White House announces Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor.
December 8, 1941, that is the feast of the Immaculate Heart of Mary. We call it in Chamorro, Si Santa Maria Kamaling. That day is a very special day for the entire island. While the Mass was going on, these rumors start to come in that the war broke out.
I was over at the chapel, and all of a sudden, we start hearing planes. The people in the chapel in San Antonio saw it, so it was flying, you know. The planes were coming in from the east.
My family was at breakfast, and my brothers all ran out and they said, planes! So I followed right after them. And all of a sudden, things started dropping down.
The bombs start falling all over. Father said, Jesus falago, meaning run.
Everybody was running, looking for their parents, looking for their children.
My father just packed us all up, and we all ran up into the jungles and hid out from the Japanese.
Almost everybody left the city and waited for the Americans to defend Guam.
After 2 days of bombing Guam, on December 10, 1941, the Japanese ground forces landed on the island.
When the Japanese landed with 5,500 Imperial Marines, the elite of the Imperial Navy, the U.S. had on Guam less than 500 American military and no big guns to fight with.
The only people in Agana City were the Insular Guards and a few Marines and a few Navy men. And all they could do was to defend Guam at the Plaza de España.
The Navy Department announces that it is unable to communicate with Guam, either by radio or cable.
The commander told the soldiers that they had two options. Either they could surrender and be headed to a prisoner of war camp, or take their chances and flee into the jungle. There was a young radio man, George Tweed. He and 5 guys decided to take the option that their commander had given them.
Plunging into the thicket was not a hard decision to make. I was not going to be prodded in the rear with a bayonet by a Jap soldier.
These 6 sailors believed that the Americans would return within a matter of days or maybe within a matter of weeks, but not for long.
In less than 3 hours, the Japanese overtook the capital city of Agana. At 6 a.m., the governor of Guam, Captain George McMillan, surrendered the island.